Hi, it's Craig from Scratch at 50. In today's video, I'm going to explain how from early in the season, I went from having the putting yips, and it was horrendous, to just 5 weeks later, putting being one of the strongest parts of my game. Okay, let's get cracking. Right, so where do we start with this horror story? Okay, so at the start of the year, I was doing conventional putter grip with a putter that I'd had for about 20 years. Putting's always been a strong part of my game, and then completely out of nowhere, I ended up in a situation where I was stuck over the ball. The more I thought about taking the club head away from the ball, the tighter my grip got, which then obviously made it even worse to try and take the club away, which then was just resulting in jerky strokes. And I didn't want to admit it to myself, but I had the putting yips for the first time in my life, and it was a horrible feeling. So what was the answer? Well, I'm very lucky that I've got a very good friend called Phil Kenyon, who many of you may have heard of. He's a world-renowned putting coach. He's a good friend of mine. Me and Phil used to travel together back in our sort of late teens and early 20s when we were playing. Phil's a very, very accomplished golfer. Some people don't realise that. Very good golfer. So I reached out to Phil, explained this problem I was having, and he said, okay, this is what we need to do. We need to do a complete Japanese reset. We need to hit the standby button and turn the machine off. The machine being the brain, okay? And then he said, what I want you to do, by the way, he offered to go down to his studio and do all that, but I just thought I haven't got time to do it, and that's not going to help, because this isn't a technique problem, this is a mental problem. So yeah, so backwards again. He said, we need to do a Japanese reset. We need to turn the machine off and reboot it with something new. So he said, what type of putter do you use? I said, I use a Ping Anza sort of blade, very, very sort of standard, traditional putter. Always had that kind of putter, Ping Anzas, Ping Zings. The last one was an Odyssey, which was like an Anza type head to it. He said, okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to go and get a putter that is totally different to what you normally use. Something as far away from that style of putter as possible. And he recommended a putter, of which I've got here, which I'll show you in a minute. He said, so what we want is, I want you to be looking down on something completely different. And then he said, I also want you to change your grip. So then not only are you going to be looking down at something different, but then you're going to actually be feeling something different. And that's going to be our new starting point for trying to get your putting back on track. So this was the putter that I went to. It's an Odyssey O-Works 7. And as you can see, it's completely different to the traditional putters that I'd normally go for. And it did take a bit of getting used to, but oh my God, I absolutely love it now. The face balance on this putter and the weight of it is absolutely amazing. So highly recommend if you haven't gone for this style of putter before. This is what we did. We went from conventional putting grip to the claw grip, okay? So that immediately made it feel completely different. And also, I'm looking down on a putter that is completely different to anything I've ever used before. And all of a sudden, by just having a routine as well, by just looking at the hole, back, go. All of a sudden, I started to just release my putter head through the ball. And as I did this, I started to get more confidence. And all of a sudden, before I knew it, I was putting so much better. So also, there was a mentality change. When I was going through those problems with the yips, I wasn't thinking about holding putts. I was thinking about just getting it as near to the hole as possible, so I wasn't going to three putt. That's a terrible mentality to have for putting. So once I'd changed my putter, changed my grip, and started to stroke it, and I felt like I was setting putts off online, all of a sudden my mentality is that I try and hole every putt. And I mean every putt. Even if I'm 50 foot away, you are trying to hold the putt, okay? So if you are struggling with your putting, just give that a try. Honestly, I was amazed at how quickly it turned around for me. It went from being most definitely the weakest part of my game to pretty much my strongest. And let's be honest, no matter what your handicap is, if you're not holding putts, this game is flipping hard. You've got to hold putts. So if you are struggling, go and get a putter, something completely different to what you normally use. Doesn't matter what that is. It could be an arm lock putter, it could be a broom handle, anything, a different look. Doesn't matter what it is, but just something completely different. And then change your grip, go to a different grip so it feels different, and just feel like you've absolutely pressed the reset button and this is a new start. I think you'll be surprised, as I was, at how quickly I went from not being able to take the putter away from the ball to all of a sudden stroking putts on my intended line and started to actually hole quite a lot of putts during my rounds. Okay, I hope that really helps. Nothing worse than having putting troubles in this game. So if it does, it'd be fantastic. Put it in the comments below. And hope you're all enjoying your golf, and I'll see you in the next video.